Hi everyone! You know, the other day I was lucky to be part of an interview and conversation hosted expertly by Karen Tui Boys with the amazing Dr. Denise Quinlan. Denise, you see, is one of the directors of the New Zealand Institute of Wellbeing and Resilience and is a fantastic keynote speaker, author and advocate for all things good, as in well-being good. There's a phrase that came out of her mouth during the conversation that absolutely stopped me in my tracks. During this enlightened and often entertaining interview, Denise went about her work painting a very accurate picture of how burnout is an individual response to a systematic process. No surprises there. It's the system really that does cause burnout. But then she suddenly said, it's well and truly time to stop fracking human resources. Whoa, honestly, it's one of those phrases that you hear and instantly think, that's so true. Because if you know anything about fracking, it's basically the process of forcing every last bit of energy and resource out of the ground using enormous pressure and some very nasty chemicals. And it's basically done when all the easy hanging fruits of extraction have been exhausted. Well, I'd never heard of human fracking before, but it feels like that's exactly what's happening throughout society at the moment in this, forever quest to be more efficient and economical, which always means doing way more with way less. In education, this looks like more reports and more accountability and more compliance and more initiatives and more emails and more meetings about the meetings before the meeting, followed by another meeting after the meeting, and more stuff, normally done in the pursuit of what's become this mythical beast called progress. At some point you start wondering whether the system's trying to develop people or extract every final drop of energy from them before the term break arrives, or they break, or whatever comes first. More often than not, it's more than just wondering, isn't it? It's our reality these days. And I was talking to a principal recently who said, Steve, I feel like I spend my whole day squeezing toothpaste out of an already empty tube, which to be fair is a pretty good description too of fracking, and is deeply concerning. And look, yeah, I understand why this is happening. Schools are under pressure, governments are under pressure, communities are under pressure, budgets are tighter, there's never enough staffing to really go around, expectations are higher, everybody wants improvement yesterday. The problem is pressure doesn't seem to care that there are only 24 hours in a day. And here's the problem with human fracking. Eventually, the ground collapses. Research around workplace well-being is incredibly clear on this. Psychologists like Christina Maslach, one of the world leaders in burnout research, have shown that burnout isn't simply about working hard. No, it's about prolonged emotional depletion without adequate recovery, autonomy, meaning, or support. In other words, yeah, sure, people can do hard things. Humans are amazingly resilient. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? But they simply can't be endlessly extracted from. And that's where we are now, and we have been, I guess, for many years. As a result, I reckon education's accidentally built cultures where depletion gets mistaken for professionalism. You know the culture. The leader answering emails at 11:47 p.m. The teacher apologizing for being sick. The principal who hasn't eaten lunch yet, sitting in their office saying, it's just one of those days, I don't have time. For the 187th consecutive day in a row. Whew. Throw on top the stuff that comes down the pipe from up on high, the people who apparently know better. Those same people in the ivory towers who say that well-being, your well-being, is a school-level concern. All the while they're piling on the crap like farmers flinging manure in a pig shed. And yet somehow we've normalised all this, haven't we? Even to the extent that we're now confusing exhaustion as evidence of commitment. That's not sustainability. That's survival wearing a lanyard. But I think it's important to understand this. Schools are full of incredibly good humans trying to do incredibly good work. Important work, no doubt about that. So this isn't actually about blame. It's about awareness. Because once you notice the human fracking mindset, you start seeing it everywhere. Every time someone says, hey, we'll just push through this, or yeah, we'll just do this once this way, or yeah, don't worry, it'll calm down next term. It never does calm down next term. I like to think that education's a bit like mowing the lawns in spring. You're never finished, are you? You just temporarily reduce the visible panic. So what's the alternative? Well, I think it starts with giving ourselves permission to lead sustainably. Not lazily, not carelessly. Sustainably. That means leaving school before dark without the guilt. Protecting your thinking time. Your thinking time. Having fewer meetings that could have been an email. Spending more time growing people rather than feeding spreadsheets. Actually taking your allocated breaks. Saying, yeah, that's important, but it's not urgent. And perhaps most importantly, remembering that schools are human organisations before they are performance organisations. Because I know this for a fact, exhausted people rarely innovate brilliantly. Burnt out leaders don't build flourishing cultures. And permanently overwhelmed staff, well, they don't simply become more creative because someone added another strategic goal or changed the curriculum document. People need breathing space. The irony is that when people are healthier, calmer, more connected, and more balanced, well, they actually perform better anyway, don't they? Funny that. Maybe the future of leadership isn't about drilling deeper into people after all, fracking the living daylights out of them. Maybe it's about creating conditions where people can actually thrive. And honestly, that sounds like a much better education system to be part of. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then you'll undoubtedly enjoy reading my latest book, 54 Quotes for Provocations. It's stacked full of great leadership quotes and ideas to help free up your thinking time so that you can enjoy your job a lot more. Go and get your copy now.